We're going to do some guided reading now. Now, in our writing at the moment, we are going to be doing some animal adventure stories. So in our guided reading, we're also going to be reading some animal adventure stories. Now, as ever, if you want to read this for yourself, I'll attach it to the homework. If you want to listen to me read it, you can do that now, and then we'll look at the questions together in just a moment. So our story for this week is called Brer Rabbit's Trick Bag. Now, if you look at the word Brer, it's a bit of a weird word. It might not be one you've seen before. It's actually a shortened version of brother. So all the animals in this story are called things like Brother Rabbit, and Brother Wolf, and Brother Fox, but it gets shortened to things like Brer Rabbit. So you'll see that a few times. You just think of it as their names. Let's have a read. So today we're looking at chapter 1, Brer Rabbit's Trick Bag. Some people call him Brother Rabbit. Some people shorten the name to Brer Rabbit. But whatever you call him, you can be sure that he is the cleverest animal in the world. And Brer Rabbit is not only clever, he is clever in a tricky kind of way. He is not only clever in a tricky kind of way, he is funny in a clever, tricky kind of way, which is why he is forever pestering the other animals, playing jokes and making mischief. Brer Rabbit's neighbour, Brer Fox, knows all about those jokes. In fact, he was the one who opened Brer Rabbit's trick bag. It all started one day when Brer Fox was walking down the big road. As he strolled along, he happened to spot Brer Terrapin. That made Brer Fox give a chuckle down to his red belly. He went. Then he slipped into the shadows with his small eyes fixed on Brer Terrapin's leathery little head. Brer Terrapin waddled slowly up the road, humming quietly to himself. As he came past, Brer Fox pounced and flipped him into a sack. Then he slung the sack across his back and headed home. Brer Terrapin yelled out and struggled about, but Brer Fox didn't pay any attention. I'm going to boil him up, he said. Nothing tastes as good as a hot pot of terrapin stew. But if you had looked very carefully into the bushes up the road, you would have seen 2 long brown ears. Below those ears, you would have seen a pair of eyes as dark and soft as velvet. It was Brer Rabbit. He was lying beside the road, kicking at the butterflies and nibbling at the grass stalks. As Brer Fox came past, his ears pricked up and he looked out through the leaves. Now, I wonder what that old rascal has got in that sack, Brer Rabbit asked himself, and he decided that there would be no harm in going to find out. So off he went. He took a shortcut along the ditch, over the turnip field, and through the bramble patch. That way, he got to Brer Fox's house first. Before long, Brer Fox came home, and as soon as he opened the door, Brer Rabbit poked his head through the window. He pretended to be in an awful panic. Brer Fox, he called. Oh, what? Asked Brer Fox, giving a jump. Your watermelon patch, said. Your watermelon patch, gasped Brer Rabbit. Somebody's up there trampling on everything. I tried to stop them, but they wouldn't listen. Hurry up if you want to catch them. What? Not my juicy watermelons, cried Brer Fox. Thanks for telling me, Brer Rabbit. He dropped his sack in the corner and scurried off to his watermelon patch as fast as his skinny legs could carry him. Brer Rabbit's beady eyes looked right, then left. Then he hopped in through the window as quietly as a cat. Once inside, he picked up the sack. Ouch! Squeaked a voice from inside. Let me go! Let me out! Ow! Ouch! Brer Rabbit jumped back in surprise. Then he said, there's only one animal around here who squeaks as loud as that. It's Brer Terrapin. With that, he reached in and pulled his old friend out of the sack. Brer Rabbit, squeaked Brer Terrapin, help me! Brer Fox is going to boil me into a hot pot of terrapin soup. Okie dokie, said Brer Rabbit, wondering what to do. Then he gave a little smile. He'd had an idea. He carried Brer Terrapin up into the woods where he would be safe and sound. Next, he hunted around in the trees until he found what he was looking for. Then he went back to Brer Fox's house with the sack. He was very careful with that sack. There was something in it just the same size as Brer Terrapin, but it wasn't Brer Terrapin. Brer Rabbit laid it gently in the corner of Brer Fox's room. Then he skipped and hopped back up to the woods and sat down beside Brer Terrapin. It was only a minute or two before Brer Fox was back, panting and grumbling. He hadn't found anyone in his watermelon patch. "Oh, that Brer Rabbit," he muttered. "One more trick and I'm going to skin him alive." He pushed open the door and he smiled. His bag was just where he had left it. "Well, that's all right," he nodded, reaching for his cooking pot. "Now, where was I?" He picked up his bag. Moments later, there was a crash, as if a cooking pot had been thrown at the ceiling. Crash! Bang! This was followed by a banging and a whooping that was so loud that the chimney wobbled on the rooftop. It sounded as though a herd of cows was running through the place. Brer Rabbit and Brer Terrapin could hear chairs being thrown around and plates being smashed. Then the door flew open. Out came Brer Fox with his ears flat on his head and a swarm of wasps behind him. "You put a wasp's nest in the sack," squeaked Brer Terrapin. "I suppose I must have done," said Brer Rabbit with a giggle. Brer Fox ran yelping down the path towards the pond. When he got to the water, he splashed in head first. Well, that made Brer Rabbit shake with laughter so much that Brer Terrapin couldn't help joining in. "Don't, Brer Rabbit, don't," squeaked Brer Terrapin, clutching his stomach. Brer Rabbit tried to control himself, but then Brer Fox came sneezing and sloshing out of the pond with a twirl of duckweed tangled round his ears. And that made the two friends burst out laughing again. They rolled around, shaking their heads and kicking up the leaves. "Right," spluttered Brer Fox, swishing his soggy tail from side to side. "That skinny little floppy-eared pinhead Brer Rabbit has had it." And that is the end of chapter 1. We'll read chapter 2, as you might think, tomorrow. Should have a quick look at the questions then. So first one, you've got a bit of comprehension to do, so you've got to tick the true statement. So you've got 3 sentences there. Which one is true? Then you've got some retrieval to do. You've got to look at page 7, find and copy 2 adjectives that describe Brer Terrapin's head. So if you have a look in the story I've just read, again, it's attached to the homework, you can see there are page numbers down at the bottom. So you need to go to page 7 and find 2 adjectives that describe Brer Terrapin's head. There we go. Number 3, some inference. Why does Brer Rabbit follow Brer Fox? So at the start of the story, why does Brer Rabbit follow Brer Fox? Some more retrieval to do. Look at page 11. Can you find and copy how did Brer Rabbit get to Brer Fox's house first? How did he beat him there? Again, look at page 11 for that. Why did Brer Fox put Brer Terrapin in the sack? What was he going to do? Number 6, more retrieval. Find and copy 2 noises that come out of Brer Fox's house on page 18. So again, make sure you look at the right page. Find and copy 2 noises. Why does Brer Rabbit put a wasp nest in Brer Fox's sack? And number 8, some predicting for the next chapter. What will Brer Fox do next? Think about what he said at the end of that story. What do you think he's going to do? And then for the extra challenge, can you think of any other things that Brer Rabbit could have put into Fox's sack to teach him a lesson? So he put a wasp's nest in. Is there anything else he could have snuck into that sack that would have not been very nice for Brer Fox that might have taught him a lesson? As always, when you have finished your answers, send your work to your teacher on eSchools. And I will see you later. Bye-bye, everyone.